and we are live. Hello, everyone. Good evening indeed. Hello, and welcome to everyone in the chat. Thank you for that follow, Kronos. Welcome on in. Mackie, hello. Just Louise 31, howdy indeed. Nummy Numbers, evening, or unspecified time of day, excellent. Tex, welcome on in. Luna, Steel, fantastic. Thank you very Mackie, who I think was there before, but has rejoined. Excellent. Hello, Mackie. Yes, hello everyone, and welcome to a special live episode of A Matter of Fact about medicine. I'm sure by the end of the evening I'll feel a bit of a prick. That was the best joke I could come up with, and it really wasn't. Yeah,
it took me a while to figure out. I was like, yeah, we talk about Wordle.
Yeah, it was definitely a thinking joke. So, as you can see tonight, with me I have two very special guests. We have the lovely Jax, aka Flannel Jax.
Hi everybody, happy to be here.
And the lovely Kelsey.
Hi.
Who does not have a Twitch name, but nonetheless is also a valued contributor.
Yeah, I'm a personality. That's what I'm hired for.
Nami did hear the joke and wishes she didn't. Yep, fair enough. So, just to cover off a few bits first, I am your host, Kirby Rawstorn. I'm a charity streamer for the organisation Roll Together, and this stream we're raising money for CALM, which is Campaign Against Living Miserably, and to help with all the excellent work that they do. So please consider donating. However, before you do, on normal streams we allow donations with various stipulations to get me to sing songs, put on voices, and generally make me look like an idiot. Thank you, Nami. Those redeemed won't be working today, but instead we'll be doing a giveaway of 5 gift subs. So for each £5 you donate using the link !donate or using the Just Giving link, which is also available in chat, we'll enter you into a prize draw to win a gift sub, part of which also goes to the charity. So it's basically like you're donating. Basically like you're donating twice. We'll be doing 2 lots of giveaways. First when we do our midstream break, and the second one when we found out who our winner of the overall show is. Okay, so aim of the game is simple: to bring the most interesting facts to the table. We have 5 rounds, each with a different topic, and our contestants will be charged with conveying their fact to us, and then you, the audience, get to vote on who you think was the most interesting. The most votes wins the round, and the best out of 5 rounds wins the game. And the theme for our show tonight is medicine. So without further ado, let's move on to round 1. Kirby just did a Louise, losing control of your tongue mid-sentence. Good to know. I have lost all of the details on my rounds. Excellent. Fantastic. So round 1 is failures and mistakes. And first up we have Jax.
All right, everybody. In doing some research about medicine, I realized, despite coming from a family of nurses, I know very little about medicine or the medical world in general. So I fell back on something that 4th grade Jax learned and didn't understand much at the time, and 30-year-old Jax also didn't understand. So I did some research. So I knew at the time that penicillin was an accidental discovery, so I dove in a little bit more to figure out how that was possible and how it played out. And from what I found was it was basically discovered by a it was a careless lab tech who basically forgot to make adjustments or shut down the experiment that they were doing as they were doing research on the influenza virus. His name was Sir Alexander Fleming, a Scottish researcher. He's credited with the discovery of penicillin in 1928. At the time, they were experimenting on the influenza virus in the Laboratory of Inoculation Department at St. Mary's Hospital in London. So they took a 2-week vacation and came back to find that mold had actually developed on a culture plate And then examining the mold, they noticed that the culture prevented growth of words that I don't understand even more. So there's gray area here and how much I've learned and fully comprehended. But basically, yeah, it came back and through a little more experimentation after this 2 week vacation and careless cleaning practices of the laboratory, discovered that they accidentally stumbled into one of the most important medical discoveries in of the time, maybe even all the way up until the present day. So kind of wild. I wish my mistakes ended up like this more often.
That's a good one, yeah. Oh, yeah, and I was going to say it's one of the lines in Donnie Darko, isn't it? Like, most important discovery of all time is penicillin.
Yeah, and then Bo Burnham has good penicillin lines. He says he sings the praises of William Shakespeare, and then he says, "But I have something that William Shakespeare didn't have: penicillin." So there you go. Penicillin's famous. It's everywhere. Everyone knows.
Excellent. Good fact. Thank you very much. Kelsey, what have you got for round one?
Yeah, so I went more down the failure route, and like kind of a mistake. So like back in the day, I don't have an exact year. I do actually. I wrote it down. I'm not wearing my glasses, so and I refuse to put them on. So if I'm like this, I'm like, oh, I can't see what I wrote. So in 1864, that is when they started using, is it ether for surgical procedures, to, like knock you out so you don't feel anything. But before that, they used to use alcohol as a sedative. And I think we can all agree, if you've had a hangover, you know that is probably not the best thing to have surgery under. So you're wide awake and you're just a bit drunk and you're having your arm chopped off. I think that is a failure and a mistake. During that time, they also used other methods such as distraction. So there'd be someone there just slapping you around the face. That is going to really help when I'm having like my leg cut off. And opiates and ice. I mean, opiates and ice are both effective. Like we know that to numb things, we put ice on it. But yeah, definitely not if I'm about to have a surgical procedure. Give me the proper drugs. So I'm glad I'm not born in 1846.
Fair enough. So I know they did used to do. Well, I know they used to use hypnotherapy long time before you'd think they probably used it, which was apparently quite effective. But isn't there also that thing where, like, if you're very drunk, you're more likely to survive accidents and serious things? So I wonder if it was like a bit of that being.
Doesn't alcohol also thin your blood? Which, if you're having stuff chopped into, wouldn't you just bleed over and die? A lot of them did bleed out and die.
True, but I guess if everyone died in surgery,
they realized that was bad, though.
Yeah, I guess if you've got like every 1 in 3 patients survives, and you think that's a good rate, then maybe you just think you're a good doctor. And
it was they only used to do surgeries like pretty much amputation is the only thing. So everyone's having limbs chopped off, and that was about it. They just kind of leave you to rot and die. So you can either bleed out through bad surgery and alcohol, or rot and die. Beggars can't be choosers, which you all were back in that day, unless you was the queen or king. That's not a fact.
No, it didn't sound like a fact, but it was given with the authority of a fact. Cool. Okay. Well, that was round one, failures and mistakes. So are we going to go with Jax's mouldy beakers, or are we going to go with Kelsey's JD and surgery? You have 2 minutes to decide.
I just want to say that I wish that I could apply for the job to be the person who would distract during surgery and just be like, over here, to me. And just like, that was a profession that someone got paid for.
I think like they would end up getting so hurt by the person having the surgery. They're just like, I'm going to fucking murder you. You're not distracting me. I hate you.
I'm having my leg cut off. Please stop.
Good,
it's like,
working.
oh, that arm you just removed from me, I'm going to use that to hit you.
I wonder if that's where clowns come from. Like, I reckon a clown would be quite distracting, and I don't think there's any demographic of people that actually like clowns. Like, children are afraid of them, and older people are afraid of them.
Yeah.
So
I know clowns, and I still don't like them. Like I know people that are clowns, and I'm like, that's really cool that you do that, but don't do it when I'm present, please.
Well, what about them as people? Like, because you know they're a clown, can you connect with them, or are you just like, no,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
a
they were
clown,
fine.
you're a clown in
I
all aspects
think,
of life?
yeah, no, they're a clown in a different way in other aspects of life. But no, I think the biggest thing for me in clowns is I think the uncanny valley. I think it's like really the makeup and the getup that makes me uneasy. Like the behavior's eccentric, but like I was a drama kid and I did musical theater. Like you get big personalities doing that stuff anyways. But I think it's really the makeup that freaks me out.
I feel like I want to dress up like a clown now just because I can.
We'll do that after the break. We'll come back in clown makeup.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
not quite a clown, but
This. That's
Ooh,
cute. No,
that's
I
fancy.
find that a little bit scarier than a real clown.
Hold on, where's my masks?
If Ronald McDonald turned up right now with like hands full of Happy Meals, I'd be really happy. He's a great clown.
would that not be for the food?
Yeah, but it's the association, right?
I don't know. He always creeped me out.
It's
Well,
not.
okay.
I'm just gonna pretend that didn't happen.
Loved it. Loved it. Okay. Cool. And the winner of round one, with 60% of the votes, is Kelsey.
I'm sad it wasn't 69, but I'm really happy that people relate to alcohol facts with me.
Really playing to the audience.
Yeah. Oh, if Luna's in the audience, I have one later that is right up her alley, and I 100% pandering towards her, and if she's not here, I will cry.
I believe she is, but I'm not certain. Oh, no, of course she's... I know that she's not. Okay, so the next round we have is round two with myths and legends. And first up is Kelsey.
Okay, so this is my pandering one. So I found this one really difficult to kind of figure out, to be honest, and it was one that took me the longest. So I've gone down this like really tenuous route of, you know, plague doctors are real, but they're kind of legendary, right? Like, what is a plague doctor? Like, why do they wear those funny clothes? What were they for? Well, the name didn't give it away. It was because of the plague. They were around during there was kind of like 3 different plagues going on at once, but they mostly worked on the bubonic plague. And they were kind of like trying to essentially be doctors, but most of the time they wouldn't be actual doctors. They would be very junior, or there was even a case of one who was like a fruit seller, was just like, yeah, I'm gonna be a doctor now and wear my plague doctor suit. And the reason the suit has like that curved beak is it was used to have like dried flowers and other kind of smelling things in there that they thought would basically stop you from getting the plague and being around people. And you had like the glass in the eyes and everything. But the reason they was often called plague doctors and have such a scary reputation, what's that word? Reputation, that's the word, is because quite often, if you have the plague and this is a doctor you're seeing, it was a lot of the time the last person the person saw before dying, which is why they've got such like a scary, harrowing reputation. But yeah, they had some pretty horrific things that they went on. Like they believed that you could bleed out the plague, so they'd just like prick you and let you bleed everywhere. If you sat near a fire, apparently you could like smoke it out. There's all sorts of weird things. Well, like one of the smarter ones was don't be around other people, which, you know, as we know from coronavirus, that's a pretty decent thing to try. In Italy, they actually managed to like have this whole town be safe because they could like brick themselves in. Yes, it's great. We learned quite early on that just like don't socialize with other people and you'll be fine. It's something that I like to live by. But yeah, plague doctors, scary doctors, not real doctors, but was real back in the day.
Original people wearing masks, just for the reverse reason.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice. Thank you very much. Fantastic. And our next fact that we have is Jax, obviously.
Okay, I'm ready. So the myth that I found, again, falling down a rabbit hole and realizing how little I knew about medicine in general. I found studies and evidence that suggest that supplement pills, vitamins, etc., do not always make you healthier, and they can, in fact, be dangerous. Everyone takes these vitamins. Lots of people take a multivitamin every day, and for the most part, they do have very, very positive effects, but there is evidence to suggest that they can be dangerous. A big reason being and there's a quote here saying that the FDA does not require supplements to be regulated the same way that drugs are, which is a real problem. And as a result, supplements are not studied as vigorously, and the effects and the long-term effects and the dosage contained and everything like that is not nearly as regulated. There is even a study to suggest that older women who take calcium supplements may face an increased risk of dementia. Now, I've found through my research time that the way that people present information in scientific study in general, but also in medicine, is always very specific language, right? It's very rare that you're going to get someone who concretely says, yes, calcium supplements are a cause of dementia. They have to say it very specifically. In some cases, they found evidence to suggest these things can be linked to, but ultimately, everyone has it in their head, myself included, that vitamins and supplements are there to keep us healthy and safe. Where at times, they can be very detrimental. And there was another report published in 2016 that showed a 4-year-old boy in England went to the ER after taking a slew of natural supplements and developed a condition called vitamin D toxicity. So I think ultimately the lesson is just, do thorough research about what you're putting in your body, and always take care of yourself and be cautious.
Being careful about what you put in your body is always good advice. I was going to say, I do wonder if that would be the same in England, because obviously we regulate stuff differently to the US and Canada. But
yeah, the FDA is America's drug administration, Federal Drug Administration.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because I was listening to something about the American drug system, and apart from all the horrible stuff, with healthcare and that in the US, but there's this weird thing where all the drugs that go into America have to be renamed because they can't be seen as proving that they'll work. Like the only there's like an anti-smoking drug which in the UK is called Champax, which like I've tried myself, and it's the why I remember what it is, but they had to rename it so that it didn't have the champ bit in it because apparently it was almost like guaranteeing it would work. And there's something.
I love how Americans all know like the trade name rather than the drug name, whereas here it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna take some aspirin or some ibuprofen, whereas there it's like, Valium is a trade name, that's not the drug name. I just think like American pharmaceuticals is just a minefield. Definitely recommend watching Dope Sick if you haven't, about Oxycontin, which I nearly went and did for my failures and mistakes, but didn't because I thought someone else would, and it makes me sad. And now I'm going to keep talking about it because I'm tired and drunk. I'm not drunk today. I'm fine. Thanks.
Yeah, I know in Canada we have laws in place about advertising for medicines on television, and that you just can't do that because it's strange that the healthcare industry could be such a capitalist opportunity, I guess. But in the States, you cross the border and you watch TV and they're like, do you have any of these problems? Ask your doctor about this drug. And you're like, all right. Like, if I were to go to, I would never in a million years imagine going to my doctor and be like, hey, I saw this commercial about this one drug. Can I get some? I would go to the doctor and be like, hey, I'm not feeling well. And they would be like, this is the drug that you need. So, yeah, I don't know. America.
I know. And like at the end, the scrolling list of all the side effects that you can have, like may cause death, but we're just going to breeze past that.
Yeah.
May cause death is as a side effect. Death isn't a side effect, right? Like that's
the fun,
wild.
Okay. Thank you very much for that fact. So for round 2, myths and legends, are we going to go with Kelsey's Plague Doctors or Jax's Vitaminus? You have 2 minutes, starting now.
Vitaminus was good. That was real good.
Yeah, I had some real struggles coming up with the names for. I would try and do humorous things, but as you've seen from the start of our show, it doesn't always work. Okay. So yeah, I can't remember what the other ones I came up with were.
That's all right.
I don't want to ruin the surprise.
Yeah. I imagine that they're going to come up more organically as we progress. So I'm excited to see it. No pressure though.
Yeah, Let's just say I don't end on my strongest note. So
That's right. I
That's
find
me
with
at the end of the
puns, fair. A lot of time puns are quantity over quality, especially Luis. Luis takes that approach for sure. That's
what about if you have neither?
we'll find a way to make it work. We always do.
Oh, beautiful stuff. Okay, we're about halfway through. Fantastic stuff. Yeah, I was going to say I did a bit of prep for this episode because, normally people will have a bit of a chat between themselves, but I always like to be a little bit up on it so that I'm not totally left behind after you guys have all been researching your fact. And there's some interesting facts about degloving. About medicine. One of which is degloving, which is the one I had in mind at the time. But let's not talk about that because that's grim.
I don't know what it is, and I don't think I want to know.
No, it's very much. It's kind of in the name. Like if you imagine what a glove is, and how you might take off a glove. Yeah, there we go. Okay. The winner of round 2 is Jax with his Vitaminus.
I think honestly you helped. I think your pun in response to my contribution, I think it really bolstered my ratings.
Yeah, no, it was a good fact. But either way, you're welcome.
Thanks.
Cool. Moving on to round 3. We are going on to science and technology. And, as might be expected, first up is Jax.
I gotta say, of my 5 facts, my latter 3 I found a lot more excitable than my first 2. So this one I'm pretty excited about because it was completely new. I'd never heard anything about this. But in the terms of medical advancements and utilizing technology, the FDA, again, Food and Drug Administration in America, has approved the first drug made by 3D printer. So they're going to be utilizing 3D printing technology to create and produce drugs. What's it called? I don't remember. We'll see if we get to it while I skim through here. The company is called Aprecia. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, or Aprecia. But basically they have this drug that is to handle seizures. And 3D printing it is meant to allow, ultimately, you can control the exact dosage that you're diagnosing down to like almost a molecule. And the thing that pulled me in headlines-wise is that they were utilizing them to print drugs in shapes of dinosaurs to administer to children. And I don't know why kids want to eat dinosaurs. Like, I get it. You like dinosaurs and dinosaur-shaped things, but like even chicken nuggets. I'm getting distracted. Anyhow, now you can 3D print drugs in this singular drug so far, anyways, which I think has a lot of really cool, applicable, uses for future. If every drug was produced this way, makes things safer in pharmacies and maybe even more accessible. Like, what if you go to a doctor's office and they just print you a drug and say, here you go, you're good, take this, let's see. Now that's not factual. I've digressed from the fact again. I don't know, it might be the caffeine talking today, but listen, let's get back down to what the fact is. You can 3D print drugs.
That is pretty cool. And speaking as a child in a grown-up's body, it's because you want to absorb their strength. You eat a dinosaur, you become a dinosaur. That's how it works.
That makes sense.
Very good. Okay, thank you. That was a good fact. Next up then, Kelsey.
I just want to say, like, if you're swallowing a 3D dinosaur printed pill or whatever, wouldn't it look like, I imagine a T-Rex, like, the arms would just hurt as they're going down your throat.
I think it's probably a small one.
I figured they make it like way small, like smaller than a normal pill size even.
I want to see that, please. Pixel, this isn't a fact.
Let me do more digging. I'll get back to you.
Cool. So my fact kind of follows on a little bit from Jack's one earlier about how penicillin was like this stumbled upon sort of thing. So I always talk about how X-ray machines came around because that is technology, and I'm going to use that very weak link to justify my fact. So X-rays were actually discovered by accident as well. I really like that we can turn our failures or like stupid shit into successes. So I think this is an important life lesson for myself and all of us here. But yeah, basically William Romanteg, a professor of physics in Varia, was testing to see if cathode rays could pass through glass. And when he was doing that, he found out that basically light would pass through most substances, but it leaves shadows of solid objects, which is as we know it, an X-ray. And because he didn't know what the rays were, he called them X, meaning unknown, which is where the X and the ray come from. And there we have it. X-rays!
Huzzah! That's a good fact. Sorry, I'm just been distracted. You've been slightly, I think, as soon as the picture loads, you've been slightly upstaged. If you'd like to check the Discord, there is in fact some 3D printed 3D printed dinosaurs and a kraken by the look of it.
The kraken is the cool
No
one.
way.
Yeah, I like the kraken.
Yeah. I didn't know that that's what the X-ray stood for. I thought it was like some big fancy science word, but it's just like the variable X. That's kind of sweet.
No, I was going to say a couple of rays have been discovered by accident because there's like the microwave, which is well, it's more of a wave than a ray. But yeah, they walked past this thing that was emitting a microwave and melted some chocolate bars in their pocket, and that's how they discovered what microwaves were and how they worked.
That's really sad that they didn't get to eat the chocolate, but then I guess they get a microwave, which is quite useful. So,
well, there weren't any microwave foods at that point.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I think the way I remember that story is that the person who had the chocolate bars melt was like, I just discovered something, and like wandered away and didn't say anything to anyone else, and then just like, I have invented the microwave. So I mean, they did lose those chocolate bars, but I imagine they received more in the end.
Yes. Cool. Okay, so great facts there. So for round 3, science technology, you have 2 minutes to vote. Are we going to go for Jax's printer pill, or are we going to go with Kelsey's extraordinary ray?
That's a fantastic thing that I hope happens, but I have to admit the printer pill. I would love to print pills. I would have so much fun.
With the printing process or the pill taking process?
This is on the internet. You know other people can see this, right?
I was like, now I've just thought, like, if it does come about, the black market for printed pills is going to be popping.
Oh,
that's true.
Right? Like, if you're going to take party drugs, don't do drugs, kids, or, be safe. But if you're going to do party drugs, would you rather take, like, a white pill or, like, a pill shaped like a
Dinosaur
rocket
pill!
Right? Like...
The problem is, if you had more than one, once you'd taken the drugs, you'd end up staring at the bag for hours.
Or
So
what
much
if
happening.
like, you either get a dragon or you get a dinosaur, and
Yeah.
you have to decide which you want. Like, what one are you going to go for? The dragon is blue, and then the dinosaur is green.
Oh, I thought you were going
I
Matrix.
also thought you were going to go red, yeah.
No, this isn't that, though. Blue and green.
I mean, dragon, obviously, but...
I think dinosaurs were like the real life dragons. That's how my 12-year-old brain makes that out, right? Like that's why I think dinosaurs are cool, is because they're so similar to dragons. But then
That is fair.
They're just replicants of what I'm already impressed by, which is the dragons. So yeah, probably dragons.
We don't get to turn into the dragon. That's not the deal with this pill, is it? It's just a pill shaped like a dragon.
You don't know. You don't know who the printer is, so you don't know what's going to happen.
Who's giving us these pills, and why are we taking pills that we don't know what they do?
Because you bought them from me, and I'm trustworthy.
That doesn't
And you never
sound
know,
right.
they could put you into the Matrix. Are you eating Power Pigs? No way.
They're called Percy pigs for a start.
Oh, okay.
I'm
So
very
in
picky with
Canada-
Percy.
In Canada, they were called Power Pigs, and I remember them in middle school because I had a friend that would eat a bag like once a day, a full bag, and then he put his first email address, Power Pigs, and and then they were gone. They were just completely gone. So I haven't seen a power pig in like 2 decades. And sorry, now there's Percy pigs right in front of my face.
It's a
So
miracle.
let's have a quick look. So I did mean to turn off the channel point contribution. So Kelsey has won with 10 votes. However, I think 7 of those have been contributed by the same person.
Yay!
So I think we're going to call that a joint victory, and I'll remember to turn them off next time. So currently we're at 2 rounds apiece on the end of round 3. And we are going to take a short break. We'll be right back in 10 minutes' time, and we will see you all very shortly for a prize giveaway. And we're back. At least I think we are. Most of us. There we go. Hello. So, in the meantime, Bex19, thank you very much for subscribing. Much appreciated. Just as a reminder, we are doing this, and any kind of subscriptions, anything like that, go towards CALM, which is Campaign Against Living Miserably, which is dedicated to kind of like mental health and, sorry, I'm just getting the blurb up here, is a leading movement against suicide, the biggest killer of men under the age of 45 in the UK. So that's greatly appreciated there. So in the meantime, we have had some donations in over the... it kind of sounded like the Count from Sesame Street there. We've had some donations over the break. Never mind. So let's just have our last giveaway. Okay. Well, slightly rigged. However, the winner of our first two gift subs is Kelsey.
Yay! I
Can't
corruption.
stop winning.
And the winner of our third gift sub is Jax.
I did it!
I promise it's not rigged. It's a random number generator.
Rigged.
So yes, you'll be gifted some gift subs.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone who has donated so far. We'll be doing another prize giveaway at the end, so anyone who donates between now and then will also be in with a chance to win one of the final two gift subs. Excellent. Numi has done a note in the chat. CALM is an excellent charity, and they have a lot of great information and signposting on their website for people suffering from all kinds of mental health issues. Thank you very much for posting that, Numi. Okay. So, without much ado, we will move on to round 4, which is film, TV, and media. And with the fact first coming up, we have Jax.
Okay, good. So I'm sure everybody has seen the smash hit Limitless featuring Bradley Cooper, in which he takes a special drug. Okay, those of us that have a quick synopsis. He takes a special drug that he finds, I believe, in a drug dealer's house, that massively increases cognitive function and allows him to essentially become a super genius. Throughout the process of the film, he's learning languages in days. He's climbed the ladder, the corporate ladder in finance, and just becomes incredibly wealthy, and then eventually starts to suffer from negative effects from the drug, and is unable to find a consistent source of it because it was this experimental drug. But did you know that this drug is also made into a reality? So in the film, it is called NZT48, and a company went and created exactly the same drug. Their company name is Limitless, and their drug product is NZT48. So I don't know how this exists, and it's not infringing on copyright law. I have no idea. But in doing the research and looking through it, some hard-hitting news stations like Peninsula Daily News and everyone's favorite Homer News from Homer, Alaska, big media conglomerate there in Alaska, both discussed this drug and does it work or is it mostly made up? And in finding my research, it seems that it certainly won't do what the magic drug did in the film, but they do think that it would increase cognition, memory retention, your ability to focus, and they do so by combining 12 naturally occurring medicines or drugs. And then in going back over it in the time that I did my initial research, and now a lot of the links to be able to purchase it have disappeared. They're broken links now. So I don't know what happened there. But I found a second source, and this was their final verdict in their review of this drug. Ultimately, it has been formulated to enhance cognitive function by combining 13 naturally occurring ingredients. The Limitless team avows the issues about lack of concentration, and inability to recall information can be resolved quickly. At first glance, one can conclude that this formula may improve mental health and physical health by increasing neurotransmitters linked to learning and memory. So again, the very careful medical language saying that it might do it. So who knows? And then they also have a part here if it's like, if you take it and you don't think it's done anything, you can get a refund. So I don't know the legitimacy of this drug, but just the simple fact that it exists kind of blows my mind a little bit.
That is cool. The only thing is, like, if you take the drug and you feel like it hasn't done anything, there are plenty of drugs that make you feel like you can do things. Doesn't necessarily mean you can do them. But yeah. No, it's an interesting one. I am slightly terrified, but good fact.
Mm-hmm.
I'm adding that to my list of what will be available once I've got my 3D printer.
Oh, yeah.
Getting your drugs menu up.
Yeah, it's going to be in the shape of an L as well, just so I know how to identify them. You know, L for limitless, dinosaur for nose, dragons for chasing the dragon.
Chase that dragon.
Yeah, list is endless.
Fair enough. So yeah, let's move on to your fact next, Kelsey. Tell us more about drugs.
Yeah. So if you have spoken to me for more than like 30 seconds, you might know that there's this show that I like called Scrubs, and I rewatched it recently, and I think it's a very fun show. And there is a Twitch user who a lot of us speak to a lot, Dr. Vera. They are fantastic. And they've mentioned before about how it shows like one of the realist relationships between residents and their junior doctors. But I can't go by what Vera says because although they're a doctor, they're not actually giving me a fact. So the fact that I have about Scrubs, a TV show, besides it being apparently quite realistic, is that a lot of the like procedures and stuff shown in the show are actually very based on true life, because they had two doctors actually review the scripts to make sure they were accurate. And the names of those doctors were John Doris, also known as JD in the show, and also a Dr. Turk, who we know is the other main doctor in the show. And both of these real life doctors have had cameos in some of the episodes. You can see them walking around in the corridor. So yeah, Scrubs is relatively medically accurate. Who would have thought?
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. And Grey's Anatomy isn't. That's one I've heard that was least accurate. So.
Really? Okay. Because there are some ones. So I know some of the UK ones are accurate, but they're more dramas. So.
I like Holby City. I love that program.
Yeah, those kind of things. They get proofread by medical experts.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Janet Olfer would be the best. Sure.
Fantastic. Okay. So round 4, film, TV, and media. Are we going to go with Jax's Doppelganger Drugs, or are we going to go with Kelsey's Scrubs in Scrubs? You have 2 minutes to vote.
Nice. I'd say like my favorite, and I think probably the only real like medical drama show that I ever watched was Dr. House MD. House MD.
I like that one a lot.
I loved it, and so starring Hugh Laurie, who I dove into the show and I had box sets of it back when that was a thing, and I did not know that he was English until like I'd consumed 3 or 4 seasons of this, and then I saw him accept an award.
Like why?
I saw him
why did you do that?
But I saw him accept this award, and I was like, whoa. Actors do different accents. It was this really weird like, it just opened my mind in high school. And then he was a real man crush of mine after that, despite being like, let's say 30 years older than me.
Have you watched any of his stuff, like his older stuff, since then?
No, but I guess like he used to do like a lot of comedy. Is that?
Yeah. He was
right?
a big old comedy actor in like Blackadder, and he used to do a sketch show with Stephen Fry.
That sounds awesome.
It's really good. It used to be on Netflix, but I don't. It's somewhere out on the internet now.
Just a little bit different to House as well, you know. Like whereas this really dry doctor.
Yeah.
I don't know how medically accurate the show is, but Vicodin addiction, that seems like it's accurately portrayed. I also didn't know, again, despite being a massive fan of the series, that it's based on Sherlock Holmes. So
Oh.
That makes sense.
homes,
Interesting.
and then
I never picked that up.
yeah, yeah. You know what taught me that? You don't know Jackbox party games. One of the
Very
trivia
cool.
Look at
questions.
you just throwing in the facts. These aren't worth bonus points, Jack.
No,
You
these
can't,
aren't worth points.
you can't
No,
have
it's just I liked house. I'm passionate about house, and I wanted to talk about it.
Oh, yes, fantastic, excellent. We shall share our love of Hugh Laurie after. Fantastic! It's another draw. So, with everything in it to win it for the final round, that
Oh
was
no, my last fact is the weakest as well.
50% of votes to each of the people for round 4. We can move on to our 5th round, which is free for all, a fact on whatever you choose. First up is Kelsey.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like I said, this is probably my weakest fact. Is it? I'm kind of like scraping the barrel here. But there was something I found online which I thought was really interesting. There are antiplatelet medicines. So for those of you who don't know what that is, it stops your blood from clotting. So, if you have blood clots, I think it's quite often used after heart attacks and things like that to help with blood not clotting. How many more times can I say blood clots? Basically, blood clot medicine. And there's 3 in particular. So the drug name is, this is where I butcher words. So we've got enalapril, eftilagimod, and pyrifabin. I've got that one right, I think. So these 3 antiplatelet drugs were based on snake venom. So they got a snake, they got its venom, and they're like, cool, we're making some medicine out of this. And that is how they were made. And there's some more drugs at the moment, more therapeutic ones that are in the testing stage that use snake venom as well. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Love a bit of poison.
Is that because snake venom... So snake venom is an anticoagulant?
Yeah.
So it's just so you keep bleeding out of the holes that it makes in you?
Yeah. I mean, I
Interesting.
imagine so. I didn't put 2 and 2 together when I said this fact, and now you've said it, I'm like, wow, snakes are really clever, and that's a little bit scary.
Yeah, I was going to say the only other fact I can remember about snakes is that they're all poisonous, even though only most of them are only venomous. They're all poisonous in some way or another. Anyway, never mind.
Venomous and poisonous. Sorry, now I'm like, Kirby, tell us more.
Yeah, no, I think lots of snakes are venomous, which is when they bite you, but they're all also poisonous, like to a degree, depending on which bit of them you eat, which is when you eat them.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's.
Or the other way around. I can't remember which way around it was, so sorry, that's a terrible fact. Given
Don't
that
eat snakes is what I'm hearing, right?
don't eat snakes and don't let them eat you. Generally good advice for life.
That was good advice.
Cool, good fact. Anyway, thank you very much for that. And Jax, your final fact.
Okay. This is one that I recalled from memory and then dove a little bit deeper to find some more information. But there is a wonderful show on Netflix called The Mind Explained, and it's all about psychology, and each episode has a different thing. The last episode in the first season of The Mind Explained talks about psychedelic drugs and how they're being treated, how they're being used in basically preliminary tests to try and treat really important things, and how that episode kind of claims that people used it successfully in these trials to quit smoking, to really manage depression and anxiety. And a lot of the reason is, one of the best metaphors I've heard from it is from that episode as well, where your mind has these connections where the more you're doing something the same way, these habits are created, but there is real neuroscience involved as to why, is because it's the information is taking the same pathway through your brain every single time. But when you do a larger dose of psychedelics, in terms of these mushrooms, it's like a sled going down a hill over and over and over again will eventually carve these grooves into the snow. But then this drug is like a fresh powdering of snow to basically create a fresh, a fresh canvas for your brain to make these connections in different ways the next time. So I found some more information to suggest that this research says that psychedelics could treat Alzheimer's, depression, and addiction. And furthermore, Johns Hopkins University in the States, which is a very, very well-respected university institution, is starting its own Center for Psychedelic Research. So there was a lot of red tape for people to attempt to do any test or trials on these drugs because the war on drugs in America in the 70s and 80s became such a prevalent thing that they were like, no, that's unethical. You can't do that. And now that they've kind of fought through that red tape a little bit, and we've come to a place where in a lot of states and in Canada and a number of places around the world, like marijuana is now a legal drug despite its previous reputation. Psychedelics in the same vein are now slowly being opened up to responsible testing and trying to find the positive medical applications for them.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Though I will say that now all I'm imagining is just in my brain lots of little people on sleds on the top of a snowy hill.
Yeah.
That's what I've taken away. Yeah, no, that's very cool. Cool. I've got nothing more really to add onto that. So let's go to our last round of voting. So for round 5's free for all, are we going to go with Kelsey's Not Quite Snake Oil, or are we going to go with Jax's The Fun in Fungus?
They were both great.
Those were
How
both
could
so
you say?
solid. Yeah, you said that like you weren't going to end on a high note, and I'd say those were both very good.
Okay, maybe it was in the delivery, but yeah.
Honestly, though, how would people feel if I like just made my own snake oil and sold it? Like, I think
I'd buy some.
It depends if it's going to be snake oil, or actual snake oil. Because
you wouldn't know.
actual snake oil is good, but fake snake oil is bad. Hence why
Would you ship it to Canada?
Yeah, I would ship it.
Okay,
If
yeah,
you
I'll
buy
buy
it,
some.
you buy it, yeah, and pay the cost. Yeah.
You can even, I'll buy it in bulk and then redistribute to other people that are also going to be willing to then buy it in smaller bulk, but then redistribute. You know what I mean?
That sounds great. It sounds exactly how I want my cult to be, a pyramid scheme.
Exactly.
And, yeah, cool. Thanks.
Oh dear.
Kirby, did you put your own fact up for vote as well about the snake oil?
I did not.
The venoms and poison?
No, because I couldn't remember which way around it was. I can't remember if all snakes are venomous or all snakes are poisonous.
Right.
I think there are like 2 of them that aren't, and those are the only ones.
Isn't it birds that quite often will eat snakes?
Sorry, did you say birds that will quite often eat snakes?
Yeah.
I thought it was the other way around.
No, I've seen like eagles and hawks will like swoop down and carry off a snake.
Oh, okay. I was imagining like a boa constrictor being like attacked by a blackbird or a sparrow or something.
Could you imagine just like a gang of them? That's actually terrifying. Like crows are scary. Crows are awesome though. Do you know they remember things?
Crazy. Oh yeah.
We're gonna make
They
friends
hold
with crows.
grudges. They hold
Oh,
grudges.
yeah.
Between generations, no less. Like they can teach their children to hate you.
That's so good. I'm gonna go find a crow, and I'm gonna give it a whole loaf of bread every day, and then we'll be friends.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it works. Except not bread, because bread isn't good for birds.
What can I give them? Not rice, because rice would kill them as well. Seeds.
Seeds.
Okay, I'm gonna find some seeds.
There was a crazed look in your eye when you said that. Okay. And with that, it was very close. But with 5 votes to 4, the winner of round 5, and therefore the entire episode of Medicine, a Matter of Fact, is Jax.
I'm not clapping because I'm a sore loser.
Well done. Very well done. Very interesting facts there. The last thing we have to do today is do our final prize draw.
It's fine. I won in spirit because I got more members of my cult.
It's true. And if you went by overall votes, you had more in total votes.
Thank you.
Because you had that one blowout round, right?
Yeah.
So that was good.
Yeah, people
And
spent money on my votes.
people really liked you, I think. I think you were fan favorite, certainly. And you've spawned a cult business from this episode. So I'd say overall, you are the true winner.
Okay, I'll give you a clap. Well done, Jax. Your pandering has made me appreciate your win.
I will give you this victory crown. And you can wear it yourself.
Chief distributor. Okay. Oh, okay.
Have I won again?
No.
That's what I thought that was.
No. Not quite.
Max has won again.
Yeah. So, we've got one more. Now, not that I want to tell you what to do with your gift subs, but would either of you like to be gracious and perhaps donate one of the extra ones you've already run to another? Okay. In which case, we can donate our two other entrants, Nummy and Sammy. We can have them as winners.
I wanted to donate my gift sub to Sammy anyway, and then Sammy can have one of mine because I got two right. So Sammy, I would like to give a gift sub, and then Sammy can nominate someone else for a gift sub if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. Cool. And then we go. There we go. Sorted. We'll sort out the rest of that later on. Snake oil was good for lots of different things. I can't remember for the life of me what they were, but they were general health improvements. Like, there was a reason that people came selling snake oil. Pip. Lots of people in the chat saying Pip.
Yeah, Pip's one of my emotes. It's a Dead by Daylight, basically like it's a celebratory emote now.
I see.
We've repurposed it.
Fair enough. Well done, well done very much. Wow. Well done.
Pip pip hooray.
Nice.
I topped at the fun and fungus.
Oh my god.
Cool. Well, that is all of our show for tonight. Let's just have a quick look at who we can do a little raid on. Ooh.
I'm going to spend the rest of my night designing my snake oil bottle.
Yeah, it's all. I think it's going to come down to marketing. I think that's really going to be.
I mean, I have like a decade's marketing experience. It'll be fine.
I think you're gold.
You
have to let me know, okay?
Yes. Yeah. Cool. So the only other person who isn't like a massive franchise or person as such that I can see streaming is we have one Queasy Crow, so we're going to go give them a raid. Let's see. Raid message. 3D printed dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, so the raid message is 3D printed dinosaurs. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending. Thank you, everyone who donated, who subscribed, who followed. It's all greatly appreciated. Thank you to my two lovely guests. We have Kelsey, as in Kelsey, see you later, on Twitter.
I will see you later.
We have Jax, who we'll just do... I'm just going to wait and see if I'm not getting shouted at by Nummy. So Jax, who could use a shout out that I'm definitely not doing right now. I'm going to assume there's feverish typing on. Thank you. There we go. Perfect. Yes, so if you're not already, please drop over to Jax's channel, give them a follow. We will be back tomorrow night, fingers crossed. Yes, you fucking did it, didn't you? Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow night for another episode of Curse of Strahd. Fingers crossed, as I say. There's a chance we might need to reschedule, but hopefully we'll be here tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Failing that, I'll see you next time. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining, and we will catch you soon. 3D printed dinosaurs!
3D printed dinosaurs! Bye!
Bye, everyone.